Yeah. So do you guys remember when Colin Kaepernick took a knee
Yes.
Yes.
and everyone in America lost their minds?
Yep.
Yes.
Remember that?
Completely. I mean, lost it.
Completely lost their minds.
Right.
Oh my gosh, man. Well, at that time when that happened, I was the general manager of a dealership in Paris, Kentucky. It was a Chevy Buick dealership, and we had grown that dealership 800% in the prior 6 years. So we went from being a store that was selling about 120 cars a month to a store that was averaging about 850 cars a month.
Wow.
With our best month being just over 1,000 cars in March of 2018. And so I was the GM of that store at the time, and we had made a massive impact in our community, a massive impact in the industry. Things were great. Colin Kaepernick takes a knee and America goes crazy. And I'm in social media, which I used a lot to really promote and recruit in the automotive space, as well as to help us with our sales. And so I'm seeing people go nuts, like on both sides of this thing. And it's so ugly and people are so hateful. And it was just such division. It was tearing everybody apart and it was driving me nuts. And so at some point in my life, I don't remember where, but someone gave me a little piece of wisdom that said, if something's really bothering you, not like just kind of bothers you and you put it over on the shelf, but like if something's really bothering you, that's God's way of saying, hey, you're supposed to do something about it, right? So I'm like, well, what can I do about America being torn apart, especially on social media? And I didn't have an answer for that. And I said, well, actually, there's probably nothing I can do about that. But what I can do is I can create a little tiny space on the internet that I can hang out in, that is a safe space, that there will be no politics, no agendas, no division, a place where everybody gets a seat at the table, a place that's filled with nothing but motivation, education, and inspiration. And so in January of 2018, I went live for the first time at 5. I chose 5:30 a.m. because at the time I guess I had 6 kids back then. I don't know. I have 8 kids now, so it's hard to keep track. But at the time I had kids and I had to get to work at a certain time and so on and so forth. And so 5:30 a.m. was the only time I knew I could consistently show up, right? And nothing was going to get in the way. And so I went live at 5:30 a.m. With no clue what I was going to do. I had woke up at like 4 minutes before then and the lights were on my face and I was in a utility closet upstairs so I didn't wake up my kids. And I had a halo light and a laptop. That's all I had. And I went live for the first time. Fast forward, now I've done 1,146 episodes as of this morning. Going live at 5:30 a.m. Monday through Friday for the last 4.5 years. That show, or that what just started off as just me going live, turned into a global movement. It was originally called #Rise and Grind was the name of the show. And we raised over $1 million for charities. We brought people together. We had live events. I started speaking on stages all over the world. I ended up leaving the retail side of automotive and built my own business, which is what you see here, 800% Elite Automotive Club. Fast forward, this new platform came out called Clubhouse. So we launched my show. We took it over to Clubhouse as well as Facebook and YouTube, but then we expanded it into a full-on network that goes from 5 a.m. till 1 o'clock in the afternoon with motivation, education, and inspiration. I collaborated with 60 other people so that we're on there 6 days a week for, I guess that's 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, now I'm the #1 speaker in the world, by the way. I don't know if you guys heard, but I won this competition.
And again, Lundy, #1 speaker in the world.
And so, yeah, so that's the history of kind of the morning show and the trajectory that it's changed my life. But it all started with Colin Kaepernick taking a knee. The world was divisive. I wanted to create a safe space where people didn't have to deal with any of that crap, and neither did I. And just following the God's call. This is where we've landed. It's been crazy.